The Legend of Ergenekon. In the Turkish lands, there was no place where the Turkish arrow did not resound, the Turkish branch did not reach, and where the Turks did not bow down. This situation aroused jealousy among foreign tribes. The foreign tribes united and marched against the Turks. In response, the Turks gathered their tents and herds, dug trenches around them, and waited. When the enemy arrived, the battle began. They fought for 10 days, and in the end, the Turks prevailed. Upon this defeat, the leaders and lords of the enemy tribes gathered at a hunting ground and discussed. They said, "If we do not deceive the Turks, our situation will be dire." At dawn, they left as if they were under attack, abandoning their possessions. The Turks thought, "They are exhausted and fleeing," and pursued them. However, when the enemy saw the Turks, they suddenly turned back, and the battle resumed. The Turks were defeated, and the enemy reached their tents. They looted their tents and possessions so thoroughly that not even a single black hair tent remained. They killed all the elders with their swords and took the young ones as captives. At that time, the leader of the Turks was Kagan. Kagan had many sons, and in this battle, all of his children except one died. This surviving son, named Kei, had just been married that year. Kagan also had a nephew named Tokus Oguz, who managed to survive. Kei and Tokus Oguz became captives. 10 days later, they took their wives, mounted their horses, and escaped. They returned to the Turkish land. Here, they found camels, horses, oxen, and sheep that had escaped from the enemy. They sat down and thought, "Enemies surround us from all sides. Let's find an unknown homeland in the mountains and settle there." They took their herds and migrated towards the mountains. They reached a place with only one way, and that path was so steep that even a camel or horse would struggle to walk on it. If they stepped on the wrong spot, they would roll and shatter into pieces. In the land where the Turks arrived, there were rivers, springs, various plants, fruits, and game. When they saw such a place, they thanked the Almighty. They ate the meat of their animals in winter and drank their milk in summer. They wore their skins. They called this land Ergenekon. Time passed, ages flowed, Kei and Tokus Oguz had many children. Kei had many children, while Tokus Oguz had fewer. The children from Kei were called Kaits, and the children from Tokus were called Tokuzlers and Turokans. For years, the children of these two brave men stayed in Ergenekon, multiplied, and multiplied. 400 years passed. After 400 years, they and their herds multiplied so much that they could no longer fit in Ergenekon. To find a solution, they convened a council. They said, "We heard from our ancestors that there are vast lands and beautiful homelands outside Ergenekon. Our homeland used to be in those places. Let's search the valleys between the mountains to find a way. Let's leave Ergenekon. Whoever is friendly to us outside Ergenekon, we will be friends with them, and whoever is an enemy to us, we will be enemies with them." Upon this decision of the council, the Turks searched for a way to leave Ergenekon but couldn't find one. Then a blacksmith said, "There is an iron mine in this mountain. If we melt its iron, perhaps the mountain will give us passage." They went and saw the iron mine. They filled the mountain with wood and coal from top to bottom, inside and outside. They made 70 large bellows and placed them in 70 locations. They ignited the wood and coal, and with the help of God, the iron in the mountain heated up, melted, and flowed like a loaded camel, creating a path. Then a gray-furred gray wolf appeared, no one knew where it came from. The wolf came and stood in front of the Turks, everyone understood that it would show the way. The wolf walked, and the Turkish nation followed. Under the leadership of the wolf, on the sacred day of the sacred month of the sacred year, they left Ergenekon. The Turks remembered that day and time well. That sacred day became the Turks' festival. Every year, on that day, grand ceremonies are held. A piece of iron is heated in the fire. The Turkish Khan first holds it with tongs and strikes it with a hammer, and then other Turkish lords do the same to celebrate the festival. When they left Ergenekon, the leader of the Turks was Tahsin, Grey Wolf, who descended from the Khan lineage. Tahsin sent envoys to all provinces, informing them that the Turks had left Ergenekon. As it used to be, all provinces came under the rule of the Turks. Some welcomed this, acknowledging Tahsin as the Khan, while others opposed it. Wars were fought against those who opposed, and the Turks defeated them all, establishing the Turkish state in all directions.